Alex, great game today. What was the key to you guys bouncing back from tough loss on Saturday, just 48 hours later?
Um, Honestly, I would just say our mentality. I think like internally we know we have all the right pieces. We're a great team, we're unselfish. And I feel like at times we just lost sight of who we were and not what our culture is, but how we need to go about it and how we've had so much success in the past. So I think we did some soul searching yesterday in practice and it showed today.
Um, the fact that I think Clay, well, he had his late three to get seven, and I think Noah had 4 points, but you win, you beat a really good team by almost 20 points. It really kind of shows the firepower this team has when it's
Mhm.
clicking on all cylinders.
Yep. Like you said, it just shows the firepower and it shows that those guys, like they're all conference players. We all know that, but they affected the game in so many other ways. And it got guys like myself shots. So I don't want it to go unnoticed. I mean, you guys know that, but for everybody that will be watching this, like those guys made huge plays that got us this win. And they might not have had the scoring night that we're used to, but they for sure showed the other aspects of their game.
Isaiah Miller is such a terrific player, and this team has given you some trouble in the past, and for you to come out and play like you did today, is that just is that something that you can take and grow on? I mean, even though you're a senior, just to have the kind of success you did today against this team.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely is. Like you said, their pressure is different from what else we see in the league, and obviously as a guard, it can get at your head, get in your head, and shock you a little bit. But the most important thing, like Coach Richie told us, like just keep your foot on the gas. The more aggressive you are, the less they can shock you. Because if you're aggressive and coming at them, it's hard for them to attack right back at you. So that's what we did, and definitely something to grow on for Wednesday.
Do you feel like this is your guys' best defensive game of the year?
Yeah, from start to finish, I would definitely say so. I mean, I finished versus ETSU was like a little hint at it, a little teaser, but from the tip to the end, I feel like this was.
Hey, Alex, this is John. Just talk about going from Saturday. I guess you played against Wofford and Storm Murphy, and then Garden Isaiah Miller. For one, you expend so much energy on the defensive end, but just talk about how hard it is to maybe to manufacture that energy to play so well on the offensive end as you did in both games.
Oh yeah, it's definitely difficult because those guys are at the top of our scouting reports, and they're great players. I give credit where credit's due. It definitely takes a lot of energy, and I think most people would be lying if they said it didn't. But it's just a matter of just staying in shape. It's stuff we've done since the preseason that has gotten us in this condition to be able to play both ends of the floor intensely, and that's what we're known for. We sit down on defense, get stops, and we run in transition on offense. So, yep.
Also, could you talk about the effect of Jalen Slauson really on the defensive end and maybe his that defense and running down guys and blocking shots and how that's contagious to you guys as a whole to see him do that and to see him give effort like that.
Man, it's tremendous. Like if Slaw plays like that every game, he definitely has a chance of being defensive player of the year, in my opinion, because he's one of the best. He is the best defending big in the league when he puts forth that effort, and like he makes up for a lot of mistakes us guards have. If we get beat off the bounce or give up a drive, like it might not be visible out there to some fans, but he makes up for it, and we can get out and run. So he makes our lives easier, and it translates. He had what it says, uh, 14 points, and you see like when he plays that hard defensively, offense comes easy for him. So
Alex, you got a stretch here after not playing a bunch where you're going to play a bunch starting Wednesday in Greensboro rematch. What do you kind of got to do to maintain the consistency? Because I thought, today that was the key word was consistency because in past games this year, y'all built up some good leads, maybe only won by 5 or 6. But today you really finished off
right.
all 40 minutes.
I think going into Wednesday, we got to know that those guys are on their home turf, and obviously any team that just lost to the team that they're about to play is going to come out with a lot more energy, and they're gonna take it personally. Like, hey, we're better than this, and they were the hottest team coming into this game. They were in first place in the league, so we got to come in even more locked in. You know, we were all focused on the scouting report, and we made adjustments within the game, but we just got to come out with that fight. And you know, it's going to come down to getting stops and keying in on guys, but you know, everybody can hit shots at this level, so you know, we can't take any plays for or take any possessions for granted, and you know, we just got to focus and take care of the ball. I feel like that's one thing we can improve on, especially as guards. We had a few careless turnovers, myself included, but we just got to be smarter, you know, and you know, just play us, be Furman.
Thanks, Alex.
Thank you.
All right. A lot better performance by our team, and you know, obviously played a well-coached ball team, and West does a great job. They were playing really well, and you know, and won 7 in a row and playing really, really hard. And we knew we were going to have to play harder than we've been playing to have a chance. And so, you know, credit our guys. Yesterday was a pretty difficult day, and we had to just self-assess and you know, look in the mirror, whole program, and figure out, you know, how we've gotten away a little bit from our core values. And you know, it's sometimes you got to do that in the middle of the season, and adversity is what brings that out the best. But I'm really proud of our team. I'm really proud of the response, and to have a performance where they just went out and they played really, really hard. They played together. They played really, really connected. And for the most part, they kept their poise. You know, there's a couple times we got to continue to, you know, work on our poise and make sure that we have good presence about us. I think that's important in the game, that we don't lose that. And so, you know, I couldn't be more proud, but it's one game. We played the way we're supposed to play. It's how we need to be playing all year. And we've played like that in spurts, but tonight I thought it was the most consistent in terms of our effort for the 40 minutes.
Coach, I think anyone that's watched these two teams play over the past few years knows that Alex Hunter's not had his best days against UNCG, so to speak. For him to have the performance he did tonight, and, you know, against an incredible player like Isaiah Miller, especially, put up his stat line tonight, that's got to say a lot about him.
Yeah, you know, this is really the third game in a row that Alex has played exceptional. And, you know, as bad as we were in some spots on Saturday, Alex Hunter played really well. And, you know, he had 16 points, 6 assists on only 10 shots. And he played well in Colby. He played well at Western. And so, you know, anytime, you know, you're assessing the team, it's not all bad. It's not all good. You gotta be able to sort through that in the midst of things not going your way. And, you know, Alex has been playing the game the right way, and I want to make sure that we empower that. I want to make sure that he feels free to go out there and play with that type of confidence, because he's earned that. And you know, love how he handled the press. Love you know, how aggressive he was to get to a shot. And you know, but that's been coming with him. I mean, he's been really, his confidence is starting to build, and you know, he's been making shots all year. I mean, he's shooting the ball at a really, really high clip. I think he's making them all when he shoots them. And so I'm trying to get him to shoot as long as he's room rhythm range. We want to get the ball in the air with him. And, you know, love some of the plays he made, especially in the clutch today.
To the same, I guess, degree as we talked about Saturday, again at Western Carolina, can you talk about, I mean, Jalen Slauson, career high 5 blocks, just kind of a continuation of, you know, what he's done the past few games defensively. Just talk about his play tonight.
Well, really, really proud of him, and decided to bring him off the bench, and, you know, gave him the exact reasons as to why, but let him know that this was more about trying to get consistent effort out of him, and, you know, acknowledging the player that he is and the player that he can be. But he's got to find consistency in his approach, and he's got to focus on the right things during the game. And, you know, he's so talented. I mean, and he's so gifted that mentally he's got to make sure that he's ready. And, you know, it's gotten to the point, he's a junior now, and it can't be, maybe I am, maybe I'm not. The mentality's got to show up every single game. And if he'll just do that, the production will follow. And that's where we're trying to get him. And so, you know, really, really proud of him. You know, had obviously a direct conversation with him and decided to bring him off the bench tonight. And, but I told him, I said, just go out there and play the game the right way, and you're going to have a big part of this. And he was 21 minutes. I thought he was able to stay fresh. That was another thing tonight we wanted to try to do with the bigs was keep them fresh. We knew the game was going to be up and down, and we wanted to sub those guys a little bit better. And it's not bad coming on the bench with Clay and Noah. Clay and Slauson at that 16-minute mark. That's not always a bad thing. So we'll evaluate it. We'll figure out how we want to continue to go. But it was a situation where I just know what he's capable of, and I honestly don't think he's touched the ceiling. Like I don't think he quite understands how good he can be if he commits to playing one way. And I'm hoping he felt that today. I mean, all the blocks and the plays in transition. I wanted him to take care of the ball a little bit more there late, but he only had 2 turnovers today. I thought the one, we should have probably pulled that late, but his intent was right. I mean, he went out there and he played with toughness. He played connected. He was talking. He was leading correctly, and really, really proud of his response.
Coach, and to that end, kind of building off that, as you mentioned, it's not a bad thing to have him off the bench. Based on what happened at Western and today, and the fact that Garrett Heen, or I'm sorry if I mispronounce his name again, I always do it.
No, that's right. That's right.
Okay, Heen is, giving you good effort when he's been in there too. It's really maybe not a bad thing. I mean, it's a slippery slope, but because people take it personally sometimes when it's starting or not starting. But I mean, 2 great performances off the bench for him.
Yeah, as my predecessor, Niko Medved, used to always remind me, it's not who starts the game, it's who finishes the game, right? And sometimes rotation can be critical in this, and just something that we've struggled with at times this year is with our bench being so young that when we start to sub, we're going from really old to like really, really young, really quickly. And so a little bit of a mix isn't bad. I mean, that's completely secondary. And I want to make sure that's correct. I didn't do that to improve the rotation necessarily. I did it to make a point to him that there's a line in the sand of how we got to play. And I know what you're capable of, and you're going to go out and do it. And so, I'm going to look at it. I'm going to watch the game tonight, and assess it. But Garrett's also been playing better in terms of what he's growing into, and not playing better than somebody else. I'm talking about in his individual game. He's been improving. And man, he went out there tonight and had some rebounds. He made some plays around the basket. He's going to continue to improve, and I want to get him those minutes. So, the goal was to get Garrett up to 20 minutes, and we did that tonight. We got him to 23, and I think that's really important going forward.
Coach, if you would, just for the second straight game, I guess Noah Gurley with double-digit rebounds. He's really, I think he and Slauson have probably rebounded the ball better over the last 2 or 3 games than maybe they have prior to that this season. Would you just talk about his effort, not only, rebounding, but also on the defensive end as well?
Yeah, Noah played really well. I wasn't excited about how we responded to that call at the end there, and we got to continue to show poise in those moments. But, people have decided to put their fouls on Noah. And they're putting some size on him so they can try to body him around the basket and keep him off the block. And, he's the deal with him. He's going to be fine. He's going to continue to work himself into where he's scoring the ball a little bit more than what he is right now. And quite frankly, I want him scoring the ball a little bit more. And I know how good he is. And so I don't want him to get frustrated when he's not scoring at the level he needs to score. I want him to continue to find ways to impact winning. And he did that tonight. I mean, he rebounded like a man down there and, got above the rim on a few, grabbed some balls with 2 hands. And, it's not easy to out-rebound that team by 15. I mean, we've had games before where they've really gotten us on the backboard. So couldn't be more proud of our fight, couldn't be more proud of our grit. Wasn't the cleanest game offensively by any stretch, but we'll continue to improve on that. The deal today was, could we play the right way? And we'll continue to clean up some of the scheme, but it's, really, really proud to see their response.
Coach, one more question about Jalen, and it's not really about Jalen so much as, he had, I think, 2 or 3 goaltends tonight, along with his 5 blocks. Is it a situation where you kind of don't criticize that because it's still in their heads, I think, is it not?
I don't say anything to him. You'll see it on all of them because his timing is really, really good. And it's a natural, I'm telling y'all, the boy is talented. Okay. Like sometimes I'm feeling like I'm trying to convince him of how talented he is. I mean, he can shoot the ball. He can elevate. You're seeing him score on the post a little bit more. He can see the game. He can facilitate offense. I mean, I'm telling you, the sky's not even touched. It's not even touched right now. And, so when he plays like that, let him fly around. And if he'll be willing to fly around, it makes things really difficult, And that's what I told the team yesterday is like, there's two things that we're not getting ROI on. And one of them is we're not getting ROI on playing long because we're playing 6'7", 6'8", 6'8", and our deflection numbers continue to be in the low 20s. Our rebounding performance is not where it needs to be. And we're not flying around and protecting the rim like we need to be. So we're playing with this length and we're not getting ROI on it. And then the second thing is we're not getting ROI for this age that we have. We're not showing a mature ball club in some of these moments of adversity. And we've got to find ways to capitalize in those two areas. We are long and we do have experience, and we got to make sure that we take those into the game and use them to our advantage. And, so tonight we did a better job of that. And it's one game. What you don't want it to do is, hey, we had this, look in the mirror moment yesterday and we got to win. And you say, hey, well, let's just, that's cool. We responded great. We've got to consistently go do it. And we've got to make it a deal as part of our DNA. And we're going to continue to fight to get there.